What's going on, guys? KRS back with another video. As I told you that the Tensor new series processor has not been into the up to mark competing with the flagship category, and I told you in that video also, if you have not watched, you can surely check it out. I will compete with the not the latest one, but with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. So let's get started. Well, talking about the announcement of both the processor, Tensor G4 was announced at 13th August 2024, while the Gen 2 was announced at the 16th of November 2022. So 24 and 22 is the long time difference. But now going on with the CPU will solve more things. So while talking about the GPU, now you will get the performance over here is 3.1 gigahertz of the high performance cores and based on the X4 Cortex cores, which is really an interesting for the G4. And for the low performance you will get the Cortex A720, and the speed over here is 2.6 gigahertz, which are the three cores over here, and the four cores are for the efficiency based on the A520, and the speed is 1.92 gigahertz. So it is a really interesting lineup. Well, talking about the Snapdragon 8 Gen thing has been going crazy over here because the Cortex core is X3 and the speed is 3.2 gigahertz, which is based on the high performance. For the medium performance, you will get the A715 cores of the Cortex, and the speed is 2.8 gigahertz, which are two over here, and the two core of again 2.8 gigahertz, but they are based on the low performance and is on A710. So over here, the performance is divided into three sectors while comparing to the two sector. So the performance power is high over here, but if we compare with the core of the G4 is doing the better over here because 720 cores are there and over here is 350. But for the efficiency, the cores over here are 3 and the speed is 2 gigahertz and based on the A510. So overall we can see all the certain things has been better by the 8 Gen 4, 8 Gen 2 over comparing with both the side by side. The G4 has a slightly uppish advantage, but if we compare with the core structure scenario, it has been better by the 8 Gen 2. So let us go with the CPU frequency. We will get more clarity over here. So if we go over there, then it is easily understandable that the Gen 4 is scoring like 3100 megahertz of the frequency, while slightly get advantage with the Snapdragon. The core and the structure advantage is there. So you will get the 3200 of megahertz of the frequency. So slightly appreciate advantage, even having the advantage by the G4 having the better and improved core, but the efficiency and speed is been not being capitalized over there. So the Gen 2 is getting the more plus point. Well, talking about the CPU fabrication over here, both are based on the 4 nanometer, even the 22 and the latest 24 cores. Well, talking about the GPU of the Tensor, you will get the Mali G715 MP7, which is quite great over here because we all know the event was all about the GPU power and all the certain things. So over here, the GPU has the more advantage, while the 8 Gen 2 being the old revival, it will call around 740 Adreno or over here, which is a great thing also. Well, in the frequency of the GPU, the tensor will score like 940 megahertz, which is really an interesting plus point because if we compare to the Gen 2, then it is only 680 of the megahertz. Now, well, let's talk about the GPU pipelines. Has been really interesting by the time for you'll get the smooth experience of your data reliability. Is a 7 number included because you'll get the 7 pipeline while the Gen 2 is only with the 2 pipeline, which is really understandable because 2022 I think 2 pipeline was the great number, and even the high capacity of the RAM also over the scenario in the 2022 over here. While talking about the sharing unit over here, Tensor is scoring like 192, which is really a low number, I think. But if we compare with the Gen 2, it is going like 1280 over here, while total share is like 1344 with the tensor, while over here it is getting the double over here. Also, the GPU flaws is getting the same number, which you will get the tensor only around under the 3000 gigaflops, while in the Gen 2 it is like more than 3200. So it is really an interesting that giving the upper score and GPU frequency, certain things not performing well in the Tensor G4 over here. Well, talking about the memory over here, you will get the LP reader power max in both the side by side processor. And if we talk about the frequency, then it will also remain same, which is 4200 over here. But the advantage comes in the size over here of your RAM, which is 24 for the Gen 2, and for Tensor it is only 16. Goes only the 16 GB of the RAM over here. Now talking about the UFS support, you will get the 2 over here. In the Tensor, you will get the UFS 4.0, while similar with the Gen 2 also. Well, the display resolution has been kept slightly higher for the Tensor because sharing the LTPO display with the latest of that, and the Tensor is doing well over here in the display. While talking about the camera, 8 Gen 2 has the capability of the higher, but when starting with the Tensor, you will get only the 50 megapixel of the single camera support, while the Gen 2 will be coming with the single support of the 200 megapixel, and we have seen it was really crazy over there. While talking about the video recording, capturing, and the playback, both has the support of the 8K at 30 fps for capturing, and for playback 8K 30 fps for the Tensor, and for the 8 Gen 2 you will get the 60 fps. Well, talking about the modem, uh, Tensor is using the Exynos 5400 modem, which is obviously we know the Samsung is creating. So Samsung is around the modem, and also the nanometer of the phone is also made by the Samsung, while the Qualcomm is serving to the Apple also, and they are using X70 modem, which is still using by the Apple nowadays in the latest chip. And both has the 4G capability. There is no need to worry about that thing, which is the Cat 24, and this modem also has the capability of 5G over here. While talking about the overall score of the benchmark, the Tensor is scoring 2005 for the single core, and for the multi-core 4835, and overall score is gonna be around 11 lakh 76,000, something like that over here. While talking about this 8 Gen 2, the score is 1991 for the single core. The multi core is boosting their score, which is 5,300 nearby, and for the overall score is more than 15 lakhs over here, which is the really crazy number. Now there are many of the points which we gonna be noticing over here, that the advantage of the RAM is over there for the 8 Gen 2, so you will get the better score over here. Also the GPU capability over the tensor is great. To single core we can see has the given for the tensor slightly booster, but overall score is getting quite huge up in the to the benchmark over here. Well, there are many things. If you have watched this video carefully, I have to tell you that even the having the GPU powerful, but the inner base are not very much structurized, that Exynos can compete with this 8 Gen 2 also, because the GPU numbers are crazy, but the inner pipeline and all the certain structure, if you have seen, is not up to the mark competing with the 8 Gen 2 also. So this time, if they compete with the Apple new series or maybe the new Gen series, it will be really hard to compete with them. And also the price are drastically competing with the some of the upcoming 16 series and the S series also. So it is up to your mind, and I have told you in that video that this can be your expensive secondary phone, not your primary phone. Hopefully you like this video, and the uh, scores are getting the fluctuated of the benchmark, but realistic to the potential.